The Harry the Big Dog live stream challenge, 100 videos, 30 days, and I'm on 84. So the topic of today is the benefits of stirring the pot in your marketplace. It'll be kind of interesting. At least I hope it is. So join me after this, and we're going to talk about this, why it's important to stir the pot in your marketplace. Hey, okay, so if you are on the replay, make sure that you pop in replay in the chat, okay, in the comment section. All right, so what we're talking about today is the benefits of stirring the pot in your marketplace. Why do you do it? Why should you do it? And why should you do it regularly? Well, I'll tell you this. And when I first was starting in this whole thing called marketing, one of my teachers had us to go and get on social media and to post a polarizing statement. And of course, they didn't explain all of, why at the time. I learned later. I learned later, and it was a lesson that never left me. Data is critical. So when you are stirring the pot in your marketplace, there are a number of things that you get from it. And if you do it right, you will basically create the data mine windfall or avalanche that you need. Because in it, you will find, when it's done effectively, you will find folks who are on both sides of the equation, and you will hear how they address what they're addressing, how they oppose or agree with your statement, how they engage with others who are on opposite sides of that spectrum, of that mindset. You will see the words that they use, and you also get a better insight of who that individual is. And that all comes down to, checking out their profiles and then seeing, well, what makes them tick? Who is this individual? What is important to them? And then why do they use the words that they use? So you've got to stir the pot, or at least it's beneficial when you want to drive down the cost of your research. Because if you take the time to research every aspect of your marketplace without certain triggers in place, it lengthens or increases what you have to look for in order to understand the context of what people are saying and doing. Why they say and do what they do, what makes them tick, and how your solution, or the lack thereof, the need for your solution, is critical to their space. So when you stir the pot, you may stir the pot by asking a specific set of questions. You may stir the pot by making certain statements. You may stir the pot by giving a live stream and talking about imperfect action, wink, wink. And then you get an idea of what folks feel, think, and why they feel and think the way that they do. It gives you an opportunity to open up dialogue and to probe their questions or their statements, their comments, their oppositions with a why. Well, why do you think that way? Well, give me some examples. And it helps you to do the research that you need to do in order to understand your marketplace at a deeper level. So if you're in here live, love to see your comments to that. If you are a pot stirrer yourself, I've got a question for you. And if you're just stirring the pot just to, for stirring the pot's sake, you're probably not the person that I'm talking to right now. But if you are a person who is looking to understand your marketplace and gain more insight, then it is critical that you get the data. And you can't get the data from a speculative standpoint. You want to derive your data from what people are really feeling and a visceral response. See, a visceral response is going to take you out of, I wonder what they mean. They're going to tell you exactly what they mean, why they mean it, and how you're wrong or how you're right. You'll have folks who defend you for whatever reason. You'll have folks who oppose you. You may even have folks who are so vehement about it that they may even attack your character as a person because they may not understand what you're doing, why you're doing it, and why it's important that you get this information. You have to override that initial trigger in a person's mind to protect how they say things because they don't want to come off as politically incorrect. You want to bypass all of that and get right into the deep core emotions, the core value system, and then understand from that place how they're speaking and why they're speaking. I hope that makes sense. If that makes sense, please pop in the chat. Hey, that makes sense. So, when you're data mining, what type of things can you do? Well, you can data mine with a meme. You can stir the pot with a meme. As you're stirring the pot, you're posting a meme, and the meme may polarize people in certain ways. As a matter of fact, effective social media, although it may sound, a little off, but effective social media is going to get engagement. And that engagement is where you can base what your audience thinks, feels, how they move. And so long as you are keeping it within, certain level of cordiality, you know, you may end up keeping that audience, but being able to tap into what their deepest, um, you know, hard in the paint foundational feelings and values are. You'll be able to understand them at a way deeper than they understand themselves based on how they use the words that they use, when they use them, how they respond or react to your posts or other people in that thread, their posts. And it's a great way for you to understand then how you need to structure your marketing and your messaging. So if you've ever wondered if stirring the pot was a good idea, it is. But you have to be ready for the potential outcomes. I remember my first session of stirring the pot. It was a rude awakening because friends who didn't understand that, for one, this was an assignment, and they didn't care to ask me or pull me aside and say, "Hey, I noticed that you posted this. What does that mean? Why did you post that?" Instead, what I found was some friends ceased to be friends. They unfriended me on social media. And then some just thought I was coming from a different perspective altogether until they asked me relevant questions or when it came up in conversation later on. So, stirring the pot is a great thing, but you want to preface it, or or brace yourself, I should say, with these are the outcomes that could take place. All right. So, on that note, this isn't a long one, but if you haven't already liked my page, I want to invite you to go on over to facebook.com/TJH Media Ltd. Like the page where we have more, hopefully, this is substantial content that gets you thinking and thinking more about how you can approach different aspects of your business, your media planning, and your marketing. I'll catch you later.